Meeting to order. Calling the meeting to order. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay,
I'll move approval of the agenda.
I'll second.
all right, thank you. Yeah, so trustee Raymond and trustee Whitaker?
Yes.
And trustee Howard?
Yes.
And I'll say yes, so we now have approval of the agenda. Any public comment regarding closed session? No. We will now recess then to closed session. We're going to start the school board meeting here at 6:03. Report we have for taking action in closed session. We have from closed session, the board took action to approve the resignation settlement agreement for employee number 8598 by a vote of 5-0. Trustee Whitaker had the first motion and trustee Raymond with the second motion. All righty. We will now hear from trustee Howard our mission statement.
We work to challenging, innovative, and culturally responsive learning environments to ensure that all our students feel respected and supported to achieve their unique academic potential and explore their individual talents.
Good.
I have my
Your mic on. Oh, thank you, trustee Howard. Now I'm going to read the public comment instructions for those who might be online or here. The board respects and encourages the public to comment on matters on the board agenda and within the board's jurisdiction. The board fully supports civil discourse and requests that everyone respect each other and their point of view. Individuals who would like to address the board must complete a request to speak blue form on the back table or via the Google form listed as our email address /public comment / and submit it to the start of the agenda item. At the discretion of the board president, speaker cards may be accepted after the start of an agenda item. Your name will be called and you will either come to the podium to speak or unmuted during your turn and be allowed to make public comments. After the allotted time, you'll be remuted. Individual speakers are asked to limit their comments to no more than 3 minutes unless the board decides otherwise. There are up to 30 minutes of public comment allowed on each agenda item. With board consensus, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed. This meeting is being recorded to prepare the official minutes. To comply with the Brown Act, the board may listen to comments from the speakers under public comment, but can neither discuss nor take action on the issues presented. All right, here we go. Now is time for our school report from Independent Elementary School. And Principal Patrick Hansen-Schmidt, I see you there.
Thank you. I am excited. I'm really excited about this presentation. I'm not actually going to be doing much of the talking. I have a lot of special guests who are going to come up here and talk to you about this topic. Since I got to Independent 7 to 8 years ago, it feels like forever. I've really tried to do a lot of work on making sure that we're using the idea of windows, mirrors, and sliding doors at Independent, exposing students to the diversity of the human experience in any way you can think possible. And over the past couple of years, we've increased our special education population at Independent. When I started, 0 SDCs, we now currently have 3, really 4 if you count AM, PM at the preschool. And we saw an opportunity to bring some additional learning and some additional experiences to students. So that's what this is about. So right now I'm going to ask two special guests to come on up. Anyway, they're going to introduce this topic and they'll also introduce themselves. So Colin, you're first.
Hello, my name is Colin and I'm from 5th grade. We all have things that we are really good at and things that we are not so good at. This is what makes us unique. The world would be a boring place if we were all the same. During All Abilities Week at Indy, we celebrated our differences and learned more about different abilities.
Hi, my name is Marilla, and I am from 4th grade. A disability is a condition that limits a person's ability to move, learn, or behave the same way others do. A better way to think about it is a different ability. People with different abilities develop superpowers to help them succeed. We learn more about these superpowers during All Abilities Week. What's your superpower?
So in a little bit, you're going to get to hear a little bit more from them. They're going to guide you through some of the activities that they did at school. But before we do that, I'm going to ask Sally Potter, one of our incredible paraprofessionals at Independent, to talk about why we did this.
Hello. Sorry, just got back from the dentist, so forgive my face. We started this last year. We have had a burst of inclusion opportunities, as everyone knows, and we noticed that one critical piece was missing, and that was education for our neurotypical students and teachers. This was an opportunity for a safe space for our students to ask questions and learn about some of the differences and things that make us all similar. Samboy and I worked with our specialty areas and created this amazing opportunity for our students, and hopefully other schools will want to join us.
So I'm going to talk about, she talked about the why. I'm going to talk a little bit. Okay, thank you. About the what. So we decided the easiest way to do it would be during our library time, because all kids have library time. And so it's already scheduled in. So it wasn't hard for the teachers to put it into their day. And we did it over a week. And Sally mostly led the groups. I was able to spare a para, and the rest of us just kind of extra engage the students. In my class, I teach the special day preschool. So we actually brought some of these, our activities, for you to try while I explain each table. Sally and then Marilla and Colin will help pass out our activities. There we go. Okay, so we had a vision table, and we worked with our VI specialist, Yardley, who brought us materials that students with blindness or visual disabilities use to help them learn Braille. So one of the things we had was Braille Legos. How cool. I never knew about that. So you can touch the top and it will show you what the Braille letters look like. So we brought some for you to see if you can try to spell your name in Lego. So that's one group over there. And then we have another group. We're passing out some glasses that simulate different visual impairments. And so maybe put those on and you can see what different visual impairments look like. Visual impairments, it's not always that you just see black. There are usually some visual field. Some of them are complete blackness, but usually people with blindness can see some. So these glasses simulate what that looks like. And we also had Braille books. So you can touch the Braille books and see how, if you close your eyes and try to read, you can feel the letters with your fingers. So your superpower would be using your other senses to learn. Okay, then we have a communication table. So we had a couple of volunteers. We had a parent volunteer, and then we also had London Potter, who is, she was an honors ASL. And so she helped teach the kids some basic sign language and learn to spell their names in sign. And then we had communication devices that Colin is passing out. Swipe up on those. That's what you can see the little girl using here. So we use these with students who can't speak. The communication devices are usually used with people with a language disability. And so you can try that out. We ask the students to tell us about what they like to eat, what they like to do for fun, and try to make it in a sentence. So that was their challenge with those devices. We also had a sensory table and a sensory rug, and this was a huge hit. So this is where we showed kids different items you could use for coping strategies if you're experiencing anxiety or you're getting overwhelmed. We had Play-Doh with activities to do in there. We had sand. We had sensory bins. Then we also had various sensory tools you can use to help yourself focus. So I see Nia's getting the cushion there. If you sit on that, you're able to wiggle without having to get out of your seat. So a lot of our students with ADHD or other challenges have a hard time sitting. This is something you could use. You can turn the volume down if you really want to explore. They're up from me teaching all day in the classroom.
We're having too much fun playing over.
Yeah, please enjoy. The sensory, there's all kinds of fidgets. One that I love is I think you have the little ring fidget that just goes on your finger. So if you need to fidget to help yourself focus and stay seated, that's something that no one would even know that you're using. Other things are bigger, but we wanted to show these to kids. So if they see someone using one, number one, it's normal. They understand, oh, this is helping them focus. It's not a toy. I don't need to play with it. And two, self-advocacy. So a lot of kids tried things and thought, oh, this would help me stay focused. And then we talked about how you could ask your teacher, hey, could I have a fidget? I found it helped me focus. And also teachers. I had some teachers, someone was on the wiggle cushion. It was like, oh, I want one of these at my desk. It will help me stay and do my work. So self-advocacy was a big part of our discussions with the kids. Our final table was an ADHD and autism awareness table, and we used the Chromebooks to show videos to the kids. So to help them understand differences. We had a video that talked about that talked about autism and neurodiversity and what that was and how you could help friends if you see them having a meltdown, or how you could approach someone who's having a behavior you're not expecting. And then what I love the most, as you can kind of see on the slide there, is we had students of the same age level who have ADHD. We found the videos online describing what it's like and what it feels like. So we're trying to build empathy there. So after experiencing some of these things, what's your superpower? What have you learned about different disabilities? So feel free to, oh, you love it. Awesome. Yes. I love that. And Marilla asked if she could share something what she's learned from the experience.
The experience that I've learned from doing this is that I never actually thought about what people had to go through and when they have disabilities. And our principal, I can't remember his name right now, Mr. HS, he has ADHD. And for being a principal, that must be really hard. I also talked to some of the people that work with kids who have disabilities at our school and talked about how it was like to teach people. And I don't remember their names right now. And I think I'd like to also thank Sally. She was the first one who noticed me talking to a friend about it. And I think I wouldn't have been here without her helping me. And that's all. Thank you.
Nice. So I hope you got the sense that this was a lot of fun for the kids, and they learned a lot. And Indy's a better place because of it. So I'm going to thank Krista and Sally again for all the hard work that they put together to make this happen in Independent the past 2 years. Nice. Thank you. That's it.
Fatima, if you would like to comment or to
After we do the awards, then we'll-
presentation. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Independent Elementary would like to give the student honoree to Destry Young. The governance. Destry, you can stand up here. I'm standing right here. Hi. The governance team, along with Independent Elementary School, are proud to honor Destry Young as an outstanding student. Destry Young, a fifth grader in Miss Diamond's class, has shown remarkable growth and leadership in her time at Independent Elementary, making her a standout choice for Student of the Year. Once hesitant to step outside her comfort zone, Destry has blossomed into a confident and independent student. No longer following teachers during recess, she now enjoys playing basketball with her many new friends, showing her growing social confidence. In the classroom, Destry has become more comfortable speaking up in front of her peers, demonstrating her determination to grow and succeed. She is always sweet, kind-hearted, and driven to improve, eagerly setting and achieving new goals. Destry's resilience, excitement for learning, and ability to advocate for herself when she needs help are just a few of the qualities that make her such an exceptional student. We are incredibly proud of her. The governance team, along with Independent Elementary School, are proud to honor Destry Young.
Now trustee Raymond will do recognition of Independent Elementary School volunteer.
Before I move on to the volunteer gesture, do you want to introduce who's with you tonight? Yeah, come on up.
Oh, right.
Come on up and use the microphone here, okay?
Who's with you?
Speak into the microphone and just tell us who's with you tonight. Yeah, you want to tell us who's with you tonight? Do you have any family with you? Yeah, do you want to introduce them?
Hi. My mom with me, my sister, and also my dad.
Good job.
Job. And I'd like to invite Nancy Young up. Nancy? All right. Hi. So the governance team, along with Independent Elementary School, are proud to honor Nancy Young. Nancy Young has been an extraordinary volunteer and a true asset to the Indy community. She has consistently gone above and beyond in supporting both teachers and students, offering her time, resources, and boundless enthusiasm. Whether it's been driving on every field trip, helping with classroom parties, or providing much needed supplies, Nancy's presence has made a huge impact. Her generosity extends beyond just her own child's class. She continued to offer her assistance, making copies and donating supplies even after her son moved on to the next grade. As a dedicated PTO member, she's organized thoughtful gestures such as goodie bags for teachers, and she's always the first to raise her hand to help on picture day or field day. Nancy's reliability, organization, and genuine desire to make Indy a better place make her so deserving of this recognition as Volunteer of the Year. Her thoughtful nature and unwavering support make a difference to everyone she meets, and we are lucky to have her in our community. The governance team, along with Independent Elementary School, are proud to honor Nancy Young as our outstanding volunteer tonight. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. Yeah. Can I say a few words? No? Okay. All right, that's fine. We don't force anyone to speak unless they want to.
All right, we're going to have some board comments. I would like to start though with our student board member. It's her first meeting here, Fatima Saeed. Welcome to our school board.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. I really love the what Independent is doing. I think that's a great week. I really want to involve the high school in that as well. We've been looking to do something like that, and I think the way that you guys have set it up is very amazing. And so I really appreciate how you guys have that going, and I want to make sure to include that hopefully at the high school. Thank you.
So you guys are our first school presentation of this school year, and I have to say I've kind of missed these presentations. It just brings like such a nice energy to the boardroom. So thanks for being here. Colin and Morella, so I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you for helping present to us about All Abilities Week. There's really nothing better than hearing from students who have been participating in these programs, what it means to them to be part of this, and kind of what you've gotten from it. I think the idea of learning our superpowers is so important for all of us, you know, and especially to kids who might be getting the message that they're, you know, because they're not, you know, quote, the same as everyone else. Maybe they don't have them, but they do. You know, these kids all do. There's a lot of neurodivergence in my family. I myself grew up, I believe, with dyslexia, but no one ever thought to look, you know, to help me with that. And so, you know, the efforts that we're making, you know, for your generation to figure all these things out with you and help you, you know, learn how to communicate and be in the world, you know, when it's not necessarily set up for your neurospiciness, you know, in your brains, is really, really important work. So, and I want to thank you guys for bringing the Braille Legos. I have never heard of such a thing. This is so neat. This is really cool. I've never seen my name in Braille. And I've certainly never felt my name in Braille. I've never read my name in Braille. So that has changed today. And I love that. Destry, thank you so much for being such a great part of your school and your community. And Nancy, also, you know, to you as well. As a parent with kids in school, I know what it's like to like be that field trip mom and show up at everything, and it's a lot of work, but you know, definitely worth it. So thanks, you guys.
Principal Hansen Schmidt, I want to thank you. Not only, you mentioned a couple words here that are, you know, when we think about neurodivergency, the human experience, we all have a lens, we all have an experience, and we all have differing abilities, regardless of anything. And not only that, but you were open enough to share with your students your own experience, which normalizes being open with who you are and showing people that people can do things regardless. And it's the enrichment piece, right? We see their gifts. We individually, as people, have these amazing gifts that the world hasn't necessarily seen, and you're bringing that to light because we need diversity to have a world that innovates, that works together, that creates opportunity. And so you're teaching our community and your school to do that at such a young age is brilliant. I mean, it's amazing. And it also builds a sense of community where, I mean, the kids love it. The teachers are learning about themselves and what they need, and it opens up all these healthy conversations. So good on all of you. Tap yourself on the back, give yourself a round of applause. You're doing really great work, and it sounds like can be utilized in other parts of our district. Destry, I just want to congratulate you again. Thank you for being such a great student. We can't wait to see what you do next. And Nancy, we can't do what we do without parents who volunteer and contribute to their schools. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Well, it's always great to hear from Independent because if there's one word that I really associate with your school, it's innovation. You guys are always into something new, and it's fantastic. And this is really great tonight. I think all the things you're doing up there and all the items that you showed, I mean, they were really pretty terrific items for anybody, in fact. I did have a child who was ADHD, and I'm happy to say she's graduated from college, working, married, and a mother now. So it does work. But there are some challenges with that, clearly. The one thing that I really got, though, out of the devices that you showed us here tonight was that Braille book. I've never really, I mean, we've all known about Braille forever, but I've never actually put my fingers on those little dots. And how do you, I'm amazed that anybody can read with that, but they're good at it. So there's a superpower right there, isn't it? So thanks for all of that and all the work you're doing, and congratulations again to Destry and Nancy. Thank you.
So I have a couple of comments too.
Go ahead.
Oh,
No.
okay. All right. I just want to thank Colin for the comment. Wouldn't the world be a boring place if everyone was just the same? And then Marla, if I have your name right, fourth grade, being differently abled. Okay, instead of saying disabled, right, which sounds like a dis, right? We even have that as a, how about differently abled? You know, my own experiences, I have a little trouble with dyslexia and some letters. My spelling is bad. I'm not good at reading words that I haven't seen before or very familiar with. And so, but it has an upside. The upside, at least for me, is that I can read really fast because I don't read letters. I just read whole sentences, whole chunks. So I read incredibly quickly. So, and it's a superpower, right? Having that differently abled gives you other things you can do. Okay. And I think that's what you're really trying to show all the kids at Independent. And this is really great. The word inclusion came in, and I remember a time in special ed when it wasn't always so inclusive. It was always exclusive, and more we're showing, you know, how everybody can be involved in all of the activities that are happening in a school, and everybody, you know, the neurotypical kids can see the value of the neuroatypical kids. And then I want to congratulate Destiny Young, confident, playing basketball, speaking up. These are all really great attributes. And you should be so proud of yourself and use those into your future. I hope we see you again here when you're a big girl. And Nancy Young, thank you so much for the field trips. And the key word I heard there was generosity. Generosity is such a wonderful attribute. Thank you for being at Independent and giving of yourself.
Thank you. So I want to start by saying I love the fact that it's Independent is a family. You've got librarian, paraprofessionals, teachers, all of you working together. And I just think sometimes we forget and we put people in boxes and say, this person does that, and this person does that. That's not you. We are so lucky to have Patrick. He's phenomenal. And we're just really lucky to have a leader. And this amazing staff at Independent that welcomes everybody and works so well together. It's just a beautiful place. I want to say it's such a privilege to know people who think differently, do things differently, and our special needs students with special gifts. It's a privilege to be with them, to work with them, and to learn from them. And I think when we talk about inclusion, that's what it really is. You're walking the talk of inclusion. And the other thing I wanted to say is that this whole what you just presented today is actually our strategic direction, right? To really cultivate everyone's gift and talent, and to make sure that we help them fulfill their dreams, whatever it is. So I just want to thank you. The students who presented, you were phenomenal. And I love hearing what you learned and what you did. And Destry, you were just great. Just being able to step out of your comfort zone is one of the most important things we can all learn, that we are not always going to be in a place where we feel comfortable and do things that we've already done. So I want to thank you for that and sharing your gift with us. And Miss Young, thank you so much for everything you do. I can see that you're an amazingly humble human being, and I appreciate all that you do for us. Thank you so much.
Oh. Okay. We're now going to have a 5-minute break. Do you want to do your superintendent report after? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Student board report, please, from Fatima Saeed.
Okay, so recently at the high school, in the past few weeks, we have had our welcome back assembly, which went great for everyone, especially the seniors who got to run through the helmet wearing their senior crowns to their section at the assembly. Following that was our back to school night, which had a lot of parent attendance and where leadership was able to get many parent volunteers and donations for our upcoming homecoming event, which will be in about 2 weeks. And that's the most recent event we're having, which is homecoming. At Creekside, their girls softball and boys basketball teams are in season scoring wins. Their homework club started on September 9th with a ongoing schedule. And on September 17th, they have informed their students of a community event screening of the documentary The Apology, which is a film investigating the dismantling of Russell City by Alameda County and City of Hayward in the 1960s. At Stanton, students have been learning and practicing what it means to show respect as a Stanton Star. Their parent-teacher conferences will be held in November, and they are also currently holding voting for their school site councils. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
Yes. And now we will hear from, oh,
My report is coming up.
superintendent report. Okay, thank you, Parveen Amadi.
All right, so next, I wanted to share with everyone that we now have our annual report for 23-24 online. And I'm going to ask, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Miss Amy Kayer right there, who makes this possible. She works so hard to make this. It's a lot of work, but such an important document. So she's going to click on, when you click on this, you will see our annual report, and we're going to flip the page. It's a flip book. So first you see my letter, but there are lots of fast facts, lots of important information. Oh, she's going too fast. So second page. So these fast facts, this is like our enrollment, the languages spoken, some information on assessments, and a lot of information on our financials, made in a way, again, thank you, our team here, Ms. Chan, Ms. Rishichi, and Dr. Zamora have really given a lot of information to put in here. So you can see our revenues, our expenditures, you can see our grants, just a lot of important information. And flip to the next page. Then we cover some of the important things that we've actually been working on last year, talking about expanding dual language immersion, that we have our new health clinic, talking about like enhancing our school climate and art education. As you know, we have Prop 28, and because of that, all last year. And then again, this is another one of those things that district-wide, we would not have been able to do what we've done with art and music without the leadership of Patrick right here. That's another thing he does in addition to everything else. So, and then obviously this has always been an area of focus for us, but we're just going deeper and deeper about what are some of the things that we do to foster welcoming, inclusive, and equitable spaces across our school district. And as all of you have seen, all the work that we've done around our anti-racism and the compacts that we have signed. And all of that work is really all inclusive. There's professional development. There are things we're doing for students. There are things we're doing with families. So I just wanted to share our annual report. So please share it with other people. It's on our website. Instead of having it printed out, we just do that. And of course, the last page shows all of our awesome board trustees, and you see our previous student board member on there. So next year, we would have Fatima on there. And then our actually classified, we have a merit system and we have a personnel commission, so they're there. This, starting September for 30 days, we have the National Hispanic Heritage Month. I also wanted to share that on our website, when you click, when you go to the Heritage Month resources, there is a ton of, like you can see right here, September 15th to October 15th, Hispanic Heritage Month. And when you click on there, there's a list of activities that we are doing in our schools, list of resources for anybody who's interested, and we hope you are, to look at. In addition, our library, public library here has actually put together a lot of different activities that I want to make sure you're aware of. Like they have story time. Spanish is the language of my family. Story time. They have all sorts of things for our community to take advantage of. And of course, they're also featuring our mariachi program that we've had in our school district. So they'll be playing and performing. And I think that's it. Thank you so much, Ms. Kayer. That's my report.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Mahdi. We are actually going to go to the 5-minute recess. For those of you who would like to stay, we have our exciting consent agenda and our reports on the budget and board member comments and those sorts of things. But if you have to go home and get your homework done and have your dinner and those sorts of things before school tomorrow, we do understand. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we are back in session. We would be at number 8 here, California School Employees Associations in CVTA. Is anybody from SIA here? No. And how about CVTA? No. All righty. Any public comment for items not on the agenda? On different subjects? Okay. What? Okay. All right, then, if we could. All right. So Gina, you have 3 minutes for one subject, 3 for another.
Excellent. Thank you. I would like to speak first about the crowding and issues of a lot of kids are not part of the school district, yet they're able to somehow be enrolled. And I think it's gotten a little out of control, in my humble opinion. Other school districts have a way to audit and enforce that kids are actually living in the Castro Valley School District limits. And I'd like to understand if, how, when this is it a priority? Are you guys aware of this problem? I'm just curious how we can address this, because we only have one high school and it's really crowded. Thank you.
And now, for your next subject, Gina?
Yes, the next subject is during my first PTA meeting of the year at Canyon Middle School, I met the new principal, Mr. Handel, and mentioned to him that there's an issue, a serious issue with the girls' bathrooms. For the past 3 years, I've made comments. The last principal made no strides in helping this problem, and the problem. My daughter is extremely nervous and scared for her safety when going to the bathroom at Canyon. Evidently, there's a lot of people there that take over the bathrooms for vaping, and I want to understand how we can address this. It seemed the principal seemed to suggest that these things happen, and we have to think of the privacy of these kids, and said it depends on how you raise your kid, and he really danced around the issue, and not once did he say, yes, I will make it, I will try to endeavor to solve this problem to make sure kids feel safe going to the bathroom. So that was very upsetting to me, and I don't know if it's a problem at Creekside, but it's definitely been a lingering issue at Canyon. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that's all the comments of items not on the agenda. We now have our consent agenda.
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved by trustee Raymond and seconded by trustee Whitaker. Our vote or comment on anything? Do you have a comment?
I have a couple of comments.
Sure. Go ahead, trustee Whitaker.
I want to, I do want to recognize, and Parveen, our superintendent Amadi did mention it in her superintendent report about Hispanic Heritage Month. I actually want to thank the district for creating opportunities for our kids to learn about different cultures throughout the year and integrating it into the educational opportunities that we have. So just wanted to make a note of that. But I also wanted to make a note of our approval of our First Amendment to the facilities lease between Robert A. Baughman Incorporated and Castro Valley Unified School District for the Canyon Middle School Athletic Fields project. This has been years in the making. I am so excited to create an opportunity for athletics and in partnership with HARD to create a space where our kids do not have to go outside of our community and have a safe place to be outside and build community. So really looking forward to that.
Thank you, Trustee Whitaker. Any other comments? Board members? Okay. All right, then your vote, Trustee Raymond? Oh, I'm so sorry. This is not anything to do with the employees or whatnot. Sorry, so student board member Said, your vote?
I approve.
And Trustee Raymond? Trustee Whitaker?
Yes.
Trustee Howard?
Yes.
And I vote yes, and so that would be 5-0 in approval of the consent agenda. We now are going to go on to item 11, reports, discussion, and action items. Our first one is an action item, intent to reappoint of Personnel Commissioner Peterson.
So this is, her term is going to expire in December. So we are coming first to the board for the intent to appoint. We'll come back in October for the actual appointment. So this is just to notify the public that this is the intent to appoint Ms. Vanessa Peter to the Personnel Commission.
I'll move the approval for the intent of reappointment of Personnel Commissioner Peterson.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you very much, Trustee Whitaker and Raymond. And this is a personnel matter, is that right? Yes. Okay, so we'll start with you, Trustee Raymond,
Yes.
and Trustee Whitaker,
Yes.
Trustee Howard,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. So that's 4-0. Our second item is approval of the personnel report.
I'll move that we approve the personnel report.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, thank you. And is there some comment?
No, it's just our regular personnel report that we bring to the board for approval. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. All right. Action items. So personnel report. So we'll start with you, Trustee Raymond,
Yes.
and Trustee Whitaker,
Yes.
and Trustee Howard.
Yes.
And I will also say yes. So we've approved the personnel report. Okay. The third one is to approve Resolution 9-2425, designating certain general funds as committed fund balance for the 2023-24 school year.
This is part of the unaudited actuals that we'll be presenting in the next couple of items. So this is a requirement that anytime that we commit funds, the board approves the committed funds. And so we do have two funds that we're committing, supplemental funds, $1.7 million and the Medi-Cal of $290,000.
Okay, thank you.
I move to approve the committed funds.
Great.
I'll second.
Second. Okay, and then our vote for approving the funds, starting with you, student member Said,
I vote yes.
and Trustee Raymond,
Yes.
Trustee Whitaker, Trustee Howard,
Yes.
and I will also say yes. So that will make 5-0 on item 11C. Now we move to adopt resolution 10-2425, approving the 23-24 appropriations limit recalculation and the 24-25 estimated appropriations limitation calculation, or the GAN limit as it is known.
This is also part of the unaudited actuals that I'm presenting at the next one. This is a requirement too, that as part of the unaudited actuals. So it is looking at prior year 23-24 that we closed, and also the current year 24-25. It sets the limit, so school districts are not spending the limit that is based on the calculation. And if we do exceed a limit, we need to get a waiver or request in writing from the state. But for the year, we are not above the limit, so we are good to go. So we're asking for your approval for this resolution.
I move to approve the resolution.
Thank you. Okay. So that's a first by our student board member and a second by board member Raymond. Now for our vote, starting with board member Said
Yes.
Yes.
and trustee Whitaker,
Yes.
trustee Howard.
Yes.
And I will also vote yes. That makes 5-0. Thank you. Now we have the actual presentation and action about these other two items.
Okay, so yes, so this is unaudited actuals. So we did close as of August 31st. So a long process for our team, and I do want to thank Anka Busatu, our director of business services, who's done a phenomenal job closing with her team. And so I just wanted to share that. But yes, 23-24 is done. You are now seeing the second to the last financials for 23-24. The last one is really the audit report that it will come to you in January. So once we're done with this, we get to meet with our auditors again, which is they're already scheduled to come next month, and they will start reviewing everything that we've done and let you know how we did. So the purpose, I wanted to add this purpose of unaudited actuals because some people may be wondering what is unaudited actual. So I wanted to put that information in. It is due to the county and the state, actually to the county by September 15th. And then the county will have opportunity to review our financials and then before submitting it to the county. It is a critical part of our financial accountability, providing an early snapshot of financial health before the audit process is completed. Okay, so the revenue, we always look at the revenue first. Want to see what the amount of money that came in. We project at the beginning of the year, we do a budget proposal that you approve in June, and then we make some changes based on best information available at that time. But now with unaudited actuals, it's actually actual revenue that we received. So this shows you the breakdown from LCFF, the biggest funding source that we get, almost $110 million, which is 75% of our total revenue. We do get a 3% from federal, state, another $27 million, and almost $6.6 million in other local. So the breakdown for the local control funding formula, which is the 75% or almost $110 million, that's where we get that's the breakdown. So state aid puts in 57 million or 52%. Local property taxes, which we always want to share, that we get about $38.7 million or 35%. And then the rest is from the Prop 30 and then change to Prop 55 to extend that tax. And now it's $14 million. So this is the changes that we're sharing with you from estimated actuals. Estimated actuals was part of our proposed budget back in June. So if we refer back to the estimated actuals, these are the numbers. With total revenue at that time that we projected is $143 million, almost $144 million. Unaudited, actual cash received is 147 and accruals, I should say. It's not just all cash, it's accruals, $147.3 million. So there is a difference of almost $3.3 million. So the LCFF, slight increase there because of additional property tax and prior year adjustment. Our federal did go down, and that's because we always put in or assume all the revenue that we will receive for the federal funds like Title I, Title II. But if we don't actually spend all the money that we receive, we need to do a transfer from actuals to unearned revenue. So we get to spend those dollars in the current year. So that 189 is not some money that we're losing. We are just moving that and we'll be spending that in the current year. State revenue, we did see an increase there because of the fourth quarter lottery and amount there for transportation, as well as our TK that we receive additional funds for. And then, of course, other local, we see this all the time. Around this time, we do get the additional money or local donations from local donations and E-rate subsidy. So now moving on to expenditures, we are at 80% or $120 million of our expenditures is for salaries and benefits. Then we have books and supplies for 3%, services and other 13%. You do see like capital outlay, those are things that are anything above 5,000. So any work that we're doing that's 5,000 and above is in that category, capital outlay. Other outgo and a transfer out. The $1 million that we're transferring out is actually for our apprenticeship program, that our adult school is actually managing. So what happens is we're required to, when we receive the reimbursement for those hours, we record it in our general fund, and then that's part of the revenue. But then we also transfer out the same amount to our adult school for them to do the work that needs to happen. So here are the changes from estimated actuals to unaudited actuals. So you're seeing some changes there of $9.6 million. It's because I mentioned earlier, when we have a grant or monies that we receive, we assume that we're going to spend those dollars. But when we are in the process of closing, we look at everything and see that not all of the monies are spent. And so I've identified here on the right side, the programs that we do have some carryover. We budgeted that were budgeted as part of the estimated actuals, but we ended up with some money left over, and that's why they will be carried over in the current year, and that's the difference of $9.6 million. So we see a list there of things that or programs that we know that we are actually already started using. The CNS, child nutrition, kit funds, and also supply assistance. Those are for child nutrition services, not for any other purposes. So I just wanted to highlight that those are coming in general fund, but we do have plans to spend them. We already have a list of all of the equipment and that we are going to replace and purchase. And so that is going to happen within the next few months. Okay, so go ahead. Yes.
Just have a question on the deferred maintenance. I mean, we didn't spend it, but costs go up every year. So
Yes.
Don't spend may cost us more later.
Yeah. So
Comment more than a question.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Every year we always look at the costs, right? So this deferred maintenance and also routine restricted that you'll see in the others next slide is actually it is up there. So these are projects that we've planned for, and what happened is because of the cutoff. Our fiscal year cuts off at June 30th, but summer. Right, we have a lot of summer work, and so we did plan to spend those, but because the work did not finish by June 30th, so we were only able to to pay invoices up to June 30th, and anything that happened after that, it comes out of this year, which is the carryover. Yes. For the 23-24 ending fund balance, after looking at the revenue and our expense, then we look at our beginning balance. So we end up with ending fund balance in the unrestricted of almost $16 million. Our restricted is $14.8 million. We take out all the revolving cash, prepaid expenses, and then the legally restricted, I have a slide that list all of the $17.8 million, the makeup of that $14.7 million. And then, of course, what you approved earlier, the resolution to commit these funds, because these are for specific purpose. Just unlike the restricted, because they're already in restricted funds, it automatically puts them in legally restricted funds. But because our supplemental funds and Medi-Cal reimbursement are in the unrestricted, that's we need to commit them because it can't be part of the reserve for economic uncertainties. They are for specific purposes, and that's why that resolution is very important to distinguish what is the reserve for economic uncertainties versus the two other funds here that we plan to use for specific purposes. The reserve right now, as of actually 23-24, is 9.14%. So as I mentioned earlier, the restricted ending fund balance, that $14 million, $14.7 million, this is the makeup of that. So we just highlighting a couple of them, not every single one, because we have a list here. It's also good to show what we have, right? So when people are, when maybe the community may be wondering, why do we have so much money here, 14.7? It's because of all of these funding grants that we received and allocations that we received that are for specific purpose. If they are unrestricted, they go into the unrestricted funds. But because the state tells us that they're restricted for let's just say expanded learning opportunities program. We have our after school program, and that's the money that is being used to provide services for our students after school. So there is a carryover $622,000 and can't use it for anything else other than after school program. And also summer programs that we offer, which is we're required to offer for 30 days during summer. So that's one. And then, of course, then I shared with you the child nutrition, which is the KIT fund, kitchen infrastructure. And then we have the Prop 28, which is was mentioned earlier. We do have some carryover there. And just a reminder, last year was the first year we received Prop 28 funds. They made a really good, a lot of progress, a lot of good work with arts and music program. So we receive $1.2 million, and our carryover is 291. So we did a good. Pat and the team did a wonderful job spending those dollars, hiring the people, and that's why we're at 291. Other districts, I've had meetings with our county, and they're talking about waivers because they are not spending their money. There is a these funds we need to spend by a certain time frame, right? So we need to spend these dollars, and we need to report that we spent these dollars, 80% towards staffing, and then the other 20% will be for supplies. And so there is a waiver that the state put out there, and so districts are looking at completing that waiver, and we're not doing that because we are meeting the 80-20. So I just wanted to share that good news. And then, of course, then a list of the other restricted local that you did not see in the fund forms, but I wanted to give an actual detail of what that $6 million is for. So which is the PTA, which is our donations that we received, the grant that our own very own Dr. Zamora applied for the teacher residency capacity grant of $454,000. That is some carryover. And then, of course, then we have small grants here and there that makes up that $14.7 million. Other funds, so it's not just it's not just general fund. We do look at other funds, and so happy to announce that ending fund balance for our student activity, which is our ASB funds, of $455,000. Our adult school 1.8, and then highlighting a cafeteria a special reserve for $4.3 million. So we are very excited about this. We have a brand new director of child nutrition and has a lot of good plans. And so we're looking forward to that. Some of the money that actually the money that we saw earlier, kit funds will pay for the equipment, new ovens and all of that they need to replace. Not enough. And so we are going to need to tap into some of this $4.3 million to make sure that our cafeterias are fully equipped with all the things that they need to prepare meals for our students. Because our participation is growing, so it increases every single year, and so that's what we want to see. So, and of course, then the rest of the funds are there, and so I think that is the last slide.
Questions from the board? Oh, okay.
I'll move approval of the unaudited actuals.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. And then Board Member Said,
Yes.
and Board Member Raymond,
Yes.
Board Member Whitaker,
Yes.
and Board Member Howard.
Yes.
And I will also vote yes, so that is 5-0. We approve the certification of the 23-24 unaudited actuals.
I'm going to make just a comment, just appreciating this amazing CBO who we have, Miss Chan, who is so precise and so just awesome at this work, and making it really easy for people to understand. But this is huge. You know, when you don't have someone like Susie, you could get in a lot of trouble. So I just wanted to thank you for all of your hard work. You're amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Susie. Okay, let's see. So we would like to go to board member comments now. Is there anything else you would want to comment on, Board Member Said?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on to Trustee Raymond.
Well, first of all, I do just want to welcome you, formally here. I want to say from my own board experience as a board member, I always love sitting next to our student board members. So you're my third. And I think having a student here and student perspective brings a really important dimension to the work that we're doing. So I'm really grateful for your presence, and I know my colleagues are as well. So I just want to say, from me personally, really glad to have you here, and thank you. Yeah, and if you're ever unsure of what's happening or anything, don't be shy. Okay, you're here to learn, and we're here to help you. So, that's the way we're gonna get your perspective, in on decisions that are being made. So that's So thank you for being here. I'm trying to think where I have been this week, last week. I attended back to school night at the high school as a parent. But always that provides helpful insight as a board member as well, of course. I I didn't spend a lot of time down at Fall Festival, but I did pop in and heard the Madrigals sing, which was wonderful. And I've been approached by a lot of parents recently with comments, and which I'll share with Ms. Amati in our next meeting. Yeah, that's about it. I'm looking forward to attending, finally seeing a screening of The Apology next week. I have not been able to see it yet, but it's on my calendar. And Yeah, I think that's all I've got right now.
Thank you, Trustee Whitaker.
Yes, ditto, welcome. The first meeting is always the most interesting because you're like, okay, what do I do? Am I in a safe space? And just this is a safe space. Ask us any questions you want. We're really lucky to have you here. So thank you for sharing your perspective. And we're so glad you're here. I do want to say was lucky enough to go to the Castro Valley Elementary School PTA meeting last week. They are bustling. They are a busy PTA, and the coolest thing is that they have childcare and food to entice the families, which works out very well. But I was really lucky to meet a few of the parents and learn about their kids and hear about the school, and just really excited about the work they're doing there and how involved that community is. I'm looking forward to their events this year. I actually live in walking distance, so it's very convenient. And then I'm really looking forward to next week meeting with the folks on the Facilities and Budget Committee next Tuesday with Mr. Gary Howard and team. So look forward to talking more there. And that is all I've represented the district for this week. And as a reminder, I will be out of the country September 20th through October 10th. So I'll miss one board meeting, but I'll be back for the 9th, a little groggy, for work and vacation.
Okay. And Trustee Howard.
Yeah, once again, welcome to you, Fatima. And yeah, the first one might be sort of exciting in a way, but this is not the most exciting board meeting you'll ever come to. This is a pretty easy routine board meeting tonight. So they get more interesting sometimes. But we're glad you're here. You're the 12th student board member that I've worked with. So anyway, I just have a couple of things. I was at the ROP board meeting last week. They opened with a full school. They had no vacancies. They had a very long waiting list. And so I think that's a challenge that's probably going to need to be looked at. The great thing is their programs are just burgeoning. They've just had to open additional sections of like the medical assisting program is a huge hit over there. So that's going very well. So the other thing is, as just mentioned, the fall. The other things are not exactly directly related to the schools. Fall festival was a big thing. We believe our estimate was 40,000 in the 2 days. So and it went very well. There were no real problems at all with it. So it went very well. I do want to mention two things that are coming up. I think you guys have heard me talk about the specific plan for Castro Valley. The Castro Valley City has its second lecture this Sunday at 2:00 at the library, Castro Valley Library. It's Alex Greenwood. He is he's from Castro Valley originally, but he's a pretty well-known developer now, and he will be talking about what development means to the future of cities in general and how we can hopefully do a better job with the specific plan. And the second item is the Saturday after that, regardless of what it says on the front page of the forum, the candidate forum for Senate is not next Saturday. It is a week from Saturday, and that'll be at the First Presbyterian Church down there on Sunday. Saturday. That's right. Sorry, Saturday, and that's between Tim Grayson and Marisol
Rubio.
They're both from Contra Costa County. We were redistricted into a different district. They don't know us. We don't know them. But this should be really a really good opportunity to listen to them being questioned. So I recommend that you go to that. We will be live. This is a chamber event. We'll be live streaming that also. And it's sponsored by the Chamber and the League of Women Voters. And the moderator is Blaine Torpy. So in quite a different duty. So I hope all of you can either be there or at least listen in because that person, whichever one it's going to be, is going to be really important for us. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
I'm going to say it's really important because we haven't had anybody that was directly responsive to us. So,
2 years, yeah.
yeah.
2 years, we've really been not represented. Okay, I have a few comments of things that I did. I went to an executive board meeting for the ACSBA, or Alameda County School Boards Association. It was really a planning meeting for what the other board meetings are going to be about and what we're going to do. I believe, I should have looked up when that meeting is going to be. I believe it's October, October, I was going to say 14th, but that definitely is not it. It's 24th, maybe. Oh, there it is. October 24th at, it looks like I have 5:30 on here on my phone. And that's always over at the ACOE in Hayward. So it'd be really good for board members to come to that. And there's going to be a speaker. I'm sorry, I don't remember who the speaker is, but I do remember thinking they were going to be a good speaker. And then, as mentioned before, second thing I did was go to Jensen Ranch PTA. And that was really a wonderful meeting, and it was nice to be in that area. I hadn't been to Jensen Ranch in a while, and there are a lot of very good, active parents in that PTA who are doing a great job in supporting their school. I listened last night. I didn't really um, ask a question or anything, but I often listen into the CVMAC meetings to see what they're doing or what they're talking about. And there were a number of people talking about the marketplace and what's going on with the sale. That's a big issue in town right now. And the other thing is I was working at the Fall Festival at a booth. I had a shift both Saturdays scheduled and then sort of ended up working a shift on Sunday too because someone didn't show up. So, and that's about it for community engagement, both in the board and just in general in Castro Valley. You don't, anything else, Parveen? No? Okay. All right. Well, without ado, then let us adjourn.